Alright, so Transformers Earthspark is the newest Transformers show. I think. And I got a lot to say about this, so let's begin. For starters, the show follows a group of new Transformers, the Terrans. As we have five of them, and they're like the middle ground between Autobots and Decepticons, although they definitely prefer the Autobots. Unfortunately, they take up a large part of the show. I mean, I don't hate them or anything, but, all the characters I'm used to seeing, they're nowhere to be seen. They're more of like a B plot while the main storyline is the new guy and their human family, as we basically follow them from the moment they're born. Most of their storylines are stuff like, oh, learn about family or traditions. Then the episodes about them actually finding themselves are way more fun. Stuff like the one where Jawbreaker tries to find an alt mode. So let's talk about them. Twitch, who's basically their leader, she is very lively and probably got the most going on out of all of them. I mean, I think she's my favorite out of all of them, and she is the one that faces hypnotized Megatron. So goddamn. Thrash. He's the other one that shows up in the first episode. I like him, but he kind of becomes more annoying as the show goes on. Like he's always just got some bone to pick with someone. Nightshade. They're cool. I like the fact they turn into an owl. That's pretty cool. I did like the episode about them finding their alt mode. That was cool. Hashtag. She can be a bit annoying at times. I don't dislike her, but she straight up just starts off being like an iPad kid. Jawbreaker. This guy was so great. I love the fact he turned into a dinosaur, and his friendship with Grimlock's cool. And I mean, there are other humans, but I'll get to them later. Then we have the more interesting side of things, which is we're in the time period after the Autobots and Decepticons, their war has ended, as we now have Megatron as an Autobot. Yeah, in this version, he literally just went, my bad, and swapped sides, as we have this tension of that, as like multiple episodes where Optimus's goals are tested with the way he wants to do things and Megatron want to do things. And with the way Ghost was acting throughout the show, I was fully expecting like Megatron to get like locked up at some point with all the other Decepticons, and that's when the Autobots come to their senses. As we have this thing that like they're working for Ghost Agency, but it turns out Ghost is corrupt. So you're rooting for the Autobots to, realize and put a stop to it because they've been catching Decepticons, but even though they're still evil, you end up rooting for the Decepticons as well because you want them to escape. You want the Decepticons to escape because Ghost is like the actual villains of this, and you want the Autobots to realize their work with the villains and stop them. You kind of just want this team up against Ghost. Like, there's an episode where they straight up like have a jailbreak, and you're rooting for them to get out, and you're like, no, when Swindle and Soundwave like get left behind. Then also just comes full on with Megatron being like the middle ground, and when they all get hypnotized, it is the Decepticons that come out of nowhere and save the day, which is really cool. So with that, let's actually talk about the Autobots and Decepticons. Firstly, Bumblebee. He's the one we spend the most time with because he's always with the Terrans instead of actually like being with the Autobots. He's a lot more annoyed and sarcastic in this show, and I really love him for that. Optimus Prime, he's basically just like trying to pick up on the fact that Ghost is corrupted the whole show. He doesn't really do too much. But having him and Megatron being on team, it's pretty cool. Megatron, he's the best part of this show. Having a version of him that's so different really makes it stand out to me. He's definitely my favorite character in the show. He's the one that I always wanted to see more of, and I was so happy whenever he showed up. As even though he's a good guy, there's still like this threatening presence about him the whole time, and it's great. Alita 1. She's fairly regular in the show. She's basically. I don't actually know of her. I mean, she's there, but she's a tough one, but I don't really know. Grimlock, I got excited when he showed up, and he's also voiced by the president. Don't look. If you get the reference, you get the reference. I like his and Jawbreaker's friendship. Wheeljack and RC are both also there, but they don't really do too much. I mean, Wheeljack's dad too. Make of that information what you will. And RC, no, RC is just also there for like one episode and then shows up in the final. Then we got the Decepticons. Starscream. He's essentially their new leader, although I don't think they outright say that. He has like the most focus on him out of them, and I really liked his episode. Him and Megatron were great in this show, and I know he's the season 2 villain, which feels a little out of place, but oh well. Also, he has his prime voice actor again, so that's cool. Skywarp and Nova Storm. They're basically Starscream's sidekicks, being the other Seekers. I know they wanted to use Thundercracker, but Hasbro wouldn't let them make Thundercracker a girl, but they let Skywarp be a girl just fine. Like, I would have thought these two would have been even in like, that decision, but oh well. I also just don't understand why they couldn't just use Thundercracker either way. Like, I guess same body mold or something for two characters makes it easier. I don't really know. Soundwave and Shockwave neither really do much, but I mean, it's cool to see Shockwave. He's actually in a season 1 for once and have relevance for once. That's crazy. Breakdown. I liked his and Bumblebee's relationship, and apart from that, the Decepticons aren't really too noteworthy. I mean, I remember Swindle's name, and I know there are a couple others, but I don't remember any of their names. Oh well. Now the humans, I won't go too deep into them because Transformers are cooler or something, I don't know. But I like the Molto family. I don't care for the kids all too much, but I do like the parents. They can be funny. Mainly the dad. The agent guy, oh my god, he ain't no William Fowler, but he's funny enough. And the main ghost lady, yeah, she deserved death. Then we got Mandarin, who's the main villain. At the end, he succeeds and he kills himself. He just becomes more and more mechanic as time goes on. And that's all I really got to say on this. I mean, that's mostly it. I know I've been doing a lot of season 1 of Transformer videos, but I mean, I've only been able to watch season 1 of a lot of these. However, the next 3 Transformers reviews will be the 3 seasons of Transformers animated, so that's exciting. Anyway, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, guys, eat cheese unless if you're allergic. Alright, bye.